Hello viewers, this is your host Elizabeth of the Aviation Canteen Show. I have with me the Honorable Minister for Aviation, Mr. Joseph Kofi Ada. He will be sharing his reviews for 2018 and then his New Year message, plans, programs and projects for 2019. Welcome, Honorable, to our show.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you.
I'd like to hear your views on the local aviation industry.
I think where we are now as a nation, based on the vision of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to make Ghana the aviation hub for the sub-region, for us to ensure that we mop up all the resources that we can and get all the stakeholders involved in actively pursuing that agenda to make sure that we end up with jobs for the TV youth of the country and also create business opportunities for those who want to participate in the aviation sector. So all in all, aviation is going to play a vital role. It's going to be recognized by the nation. It's going to be central in driving the development agenda of this nation.
There is a new terminal in Ghana, Terminal 3 of the Kotoka International Airport, with our mission of bridging the gap between aviation and tourism for sustainable growth. Kindly let us know what plans have been put in place to ensure tourism throughput through our airports.
The Terminal 3 is just one terminal out of three that we have in only one airport of the country, which is the Kotoka International Airport. Indeed, it's a new and needed terminal that's built to reflect the modern trends and operations at international airports. We as a government came in and inherited it, and we were able to put in over 75% of the effort to get it completed. There are many things that are still not completed, but we're happy that we have 6 modern bridges. We've got a modern edifice and a well-organized interior to be able to receive passengers and pass them through immigration, customs, and whatever else is needed within the airport to get them out of the airport or to take them in through the same process for them to fly out of the country. We intend to continue to utilize the other 2 terminals as well, Terminal 2 and Terminal 3. We are reviewing our policies and considering perhaps getting Terminal 2 to be dedicated to West African regional flights, which might leave the Terminal 1 for domestic. So all those are policy ideas before us that we are assessing. And when it's all done, we'll be able to tell the nation where to go through. There are other plans to develop the airport even further, and by that I mean the Kotoka International Airport. Now we have what we call aprons. Aprons are basically the parking areas for the airport. But we've seen the growth of the aircraft in the airport area. There's a need to have another apron. And so a new apron that we will call another apron will be constructed. We've secured the funds for that. We've signed a works contract for that. In the next month, early January, we're cutting the sword. The president will be coming to cut the sword to make sure the construction starts. That should be able to accommodate at least 14 aircraft in that area alone. So we're really opening up the physical infrastructure of the aviation sector to accommodate a lot more business by way of the aircraft coming through the airlines, landing and being treated professionally. There are plans within our arrangements also to ensure that we expand the road network within the airport city enclave. We're going to expand and construct some overheads over some of the runabouts or the junctions. We also intend to look at light rail that will go from the terminals from one terminal to another on the air side, and then on the land side we move out of the airport area. So that would augment the land transportation of the roads being expanded. So there's a big transformation agenda of the president to ensure that we make it easy for people to move about, to go through their traveling arrangements without any hitches. We don't want anybody coming and sitting in traffic somewhere along the line and then they miss their flight and they will be complaining. So these are just some of the physical infrastructures that we're doing. We've also been able to secure the funding to construct the headquarters for civil aviation and also the Air Navigation Center. It's under construction, will be completed very soon. The Ghana Airports Company Limited also going to construct its airport office to accommodate its staff and create the right environment for an easy, smooth working environment. When you move out of the airport area itself and go to the other aspects of the airport city, work is going on, constructing hotels and parking lots, multi-tier parking lots. And then also there's a plan to begin the development of Airport City 2, which is northern part of the current airport, behind the Hajj Village and the fuel terminals. And these are all major projects that are meant to open up and accommodate whatever business is going to be growing alongside the policies of government. When you go out of Accra to Kumasi, Kumasi's international airport, work is going on, phase 2, expansion work has started. The president went, I think, middle of this year to cut the salt. They're working actively. I think they've been able to finish the substructure work. They're now doing the top level pylons and columns and beams and so on and so forth. It won't be long for us to see a major change in that area. There will be a new terminal building, modern terminal building for people of Kumasi, and that will come on by the end of the year. We'll see some semblance of that, and I think going to early the following year, 2020, we'll be able to complete that. We in the sector are also looking at an area in Kumasi that belongs to the civil aviation, some land, parcel of land that's there. We intend to transform that into an aviation convention exhibition center that will have a combination of hotel, conference center, and exhibition hall. That should also enable people to organize conferences in Kumasi and various activities, including an eco park in there as well. I think these are all things that are going to promote ecotourism. So it's not just for us to be going to National Theatre or International Conference Center in Accra. It could also be organized in the middle part of the country, i.e. Kumasi. So all these are things that we're working on to continue to expand the infrastructure to support the activities of the stakeholders within the aviation sector. Ho Airport and Wa Airport have been completed. We're working with the airlines to try and make sure that we get them flying there so that you and I who are going to Ho or Wa for business or to visit family can also fly there in a short period of time. They've agreed. They also weigh in their finances to see when they will go through that. We're encouraging more airlines to come through, but so far we've granted a license to Unity Air, which is ready to start flying. I think they've done their demonstration flights. It won't be long for them to also start flying. There's the famous Baby Jet airline that's owned by a top star footballer, Samuel Jan. They've gone through their processes. I think they are at the tail end of it. We hope that by the end of January, we'll see them in the airwaves. So these are all major things that we've done in the past year, including securing funds to do many other things. If you go to Tamale, phase 2 is ready to start. We went through the process of cabinet and parliament to get the funds approved for the expansion work to start in Tamale. There will be a big terminal building with provision for Hajj. The pilgrims will be going from there. I think the total amount of land will be close to 6,000 square meters of terminal building that will accommodate a lot of activities. In addition to that, we've signed MOUs with some financing companies and infrastructure companies that want to build MRO, maintenance, repair, overhaul facilities there, where they can repair and service aircraft when they're due for servicing. There's also plans by some investors to look at putting up an air crew training facility there, in addition to one that we've signed for Ho. Reports we have is that we have over 5,000 shortage of pilots worldwide. And if Ghana can position itself very well and construct these building facilities, it means that the young men who are interested in pilot as a career will have the opportunity to train there and come out and be able to go and support either our national airline or go to different parts of the world and undertake pilot activities. We all know of the story of Kwashi, Kwaku, who came from
yes, on the
Emirates on the 380 aircraft. It's a Ghanaian who's been trained and working outside. There are many Ghanaians who are doing that all over the world as well. We hope that we'll train some more so they can go out and provide those services and bring some incomes back home for us. There's a lot of work that we've been doing on the ground. Ghana has a very good record for safety and security, and they're being praised by the international community and what they've been doing in that area. Installation of air navigation service equipment, modern state-of-the-art equipment that should help them to be able to improve on the safety and security activities. That's been done in Ghana, also installed in Sao Tome. And as we speak to, there are plans to make sure that we decouple the regulation function from the service provision function of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. All these things are so important to show the world that even the corporate governance structure, we are serious about transparency, we are serious about regulation, we are serious about service provision. Above all, is they need to make sure the airways are safe, the aircrafts are also flying in a manner that will give confidence to passengers. In that regard, there's a need for an independent aviation accident investigation body. Policy decision has been taken to implement that. The studies will commence shortly when we go to next year. We hope that as we get to the middle part of next year, we'll be able to establish that entity, whether it's going to be a board or authority, will depend on the debate that will come up as to what sort of outfit we should have that would be able to go out there and do some proactive work, which is to say that they will be able to call on the aircraft and the airlines and inspect the way that they conduct their business and the state of their aircraft and take some audits in there long before anything happens that is not going to be pleasant to us. There's a whole lot that I can talk about. If you go to Takoradi, Takoradi is a big city with the oil production increasing by the day. It's important for us to be able to turn to an international airline to help the oil companies, for instance, to be able to fly there directly to undertake their business and go out. They don't have to come to Accra and then hop into another aircraft and go over there. We've had some understandings entered into with some investors who are prepared to go there and construct some work and expand the airport. What we have in Takoradi today is mainly for the Air Force. We don't have a dedicated civil airport, and that's what we're working on. God willing, when the conclusions come by way of the signing of the agreements on the credit facilities or what have you, we'll be able to get a new international Takoradi airport constructed. We also wish to add the service provided by helicopters for the heli services, and those require what they call helipads, a pad on which the helicopters can come and land. So that can also be done rapidly throughout the country. We want to start up with at least 2 per region and continue to expand more, depending on where some strategically should have that if they do not have an airport. Wow. So these are all major infrastructure work that we need to undertake, and the President is giving his support. The confidence in the economy is making the investors to come in by the day, all wishing to do one thing or the other. All I can say now is to get the young men and women more interested in aviation, to ask all the questions they need to ask, and understand what careers are there, so they can position themselves to go through the various training programs to become proficient in those fields for them to get jobs from which they can earn incomes and support their families and support the national economy.